I want to discuss a very interesting podcast that I came across, and I want to show it to you, and I want to bring it to your attention for all you weight loss peeps. Dogma, the dogma in the medical field. And if you go to physicians, your bariatric doctor, of course, you should always follow their advice for about a year or two. After the honeymoon period is over, which it will end, the metabolic, you're going to have to find your own healthy path, right? So if you go to your nutritionist, you go to a registered dietitian. If you're on the carnivore side, which is median diet, or a vegan side, or not plant-based, they both have their own dogma. And you have to find out, well, what is truth? What is truth, right? You have to seek your own truth for your own specific diet, for your own body, for your age group, your genetics, and your whole, basically, how your life changes throughout your lifespan, your diet will change. And how you take care of your body and what you put in your mouth is probably more important than how much you exercise. But the combination of exercise, movement, stress, sleep, all these things, your microbiome, how you feel, your emotional state, your all these things, your family dynamics, your social connections, all these things, your job, all these things make a difference to the human body. You can't say one is less important or one is more important. They all mean everything to your existence, to your body while you're on the earth. So I came across this. This is Dr. Nadir MirAli. He's a very nice gentleman. I think he's from some type of Indian descent. But he's the optimal diet for humans. And there's a lot of nuggets that is in here that you'll either apply to your own health benefits, or maybe you're a coach, or maybe you're just searching for what is the optimal diet, because everybody, every physician, every scientist, every vegan, every carnivore, every pescatarian, every flexitarian, all these diets, whatever type of healthy path that you're on, all have their own dogma. And what is truth? You have to seek the truth. So I have an open mind. I'm not fixated on one particular path because it changes for me. I'm an open book. I like to experience different ways of thinking. And basically, the diet for humans is diversity, right? And depending upon what path you take. So I just want to go over, he goes over some really good things in this podcast. He talks about the size of the brain. He talks about how energy expenditures for the human brain. He talks about Homo sapiens. He talks about whole food plant-based diet versus an animal source diet. He talks about the gut microbiome and all the different pathophysiology and how the absorption rate, which is very, very important for us weight loss surgery patients, because I think that the absorption rate, depending upon what surgery you had and what phase you are in the weight loss and how far you're out from surgery, it declines and it changes over the years. Now I'm 6.5 years out. I don't have a metabolic surgery. I had a apparatus that goes on the top of the stoma, which reduces the amount of food that's going into the body. Of course, mine was deflated. It's inactive. It's non-functional, and I have to do everything on my own. So it talks about the fiber. It talks about the fermentation. It talks about B12. He talks about the fiber into the colon. He talks about the cooked protein versus non-protein, and all of us who have problems with acid, low acid, we take PPI, we have acid reflux, which I do, and how it's important or non-important, or how the foods we ate make a difference in our digestive system. He talks about the pancreas. He talks about insulin. He talks about how we cannot handle the sugar and how our pancreas dies out because of the overload of insulin in our diets, whether it's carbohydrates or sugars. And he talks about a lot of interesting things. So I'm going to hook a card. It's very long, and this whole podcast is approximately, I think it's 1 to 2 hours long. But you'll get a lot of interesting nuggets of information, gold nuggets. This podcast is so scientifically, but it's on layman's terms that it'll just blow your mind. It blew my mind. And I thank you, Dr. Nadir MirAli, for doing this presentation, for bringing truth, that we are so lucky now that we can have the capabilities of reviewing this information to discern this information for our own selves and how we can apply it to our bodies, and if we want to make some changes for our optimal health. So I'll link a card. Thank you for tuning in, and see you in the next video.